Like I mentioned in my other video, I am doing my best to follow the Game Over diet by Scivation, and I'll give you the link to that diet down below. But the interesting thing about some of the stuff that I read in the book is that it doesn't really go with some of the things that I learned in undergrad and in grad school. And so, I don't know, it just made me think about, when somebody who doesn't know maybe anything about health and fitness, they must also feel very overwhelmed with all this conflicting information that you get in the news, magazines, internet, all that stuff, and you might feel like, screw it, like one person says one thing, another person says the exact opposite, I'm just gonna not change anything, But today I'm gonna focus on cardio, so take what I say with a grain of salt, do your own research, find what works for you. The book recommends doing 30 to 45 minutes of low-intensity cardio following the lifting session, and, a lot of people will think, oh, I don't want to spend 2 hours in the gym. Basically, you shouldn't be spending more than 60 minutes on your lifting anyway. You want to, get in there, kill it, and get out, not spending, a million hours. You don't need 10 minutes rest between your squats. Kill it. Their rationale for doing the low-intensity cardio as opposed to high-intensity is to increase nutrient absorption and to oxygenate the muscles following your lifting session. They suggest that this promotes recovery and fat loss. This makes sense to me, especially right after you lift. You might already be feeling the soreness, and they suggest that high-intensity interval training following weight training on a reduced calorie diet will lead to muscle loss. I'm gonna lose my gains? That said, I have done a lot of research on high-intensity interval training, and I'm not so sure that low-intensity cardio is the most effective way to go in terms of fat loss. And you can see my references below to check out all these studies that I'm going to be mentioning. But there's several studies that indicate that high-intensity interval training interventions result in greater metabolic adaptation than its moderate-intensity counterpart. This mean? It means that your body will become more insulin sensitive and create more glycolytic enzymes, which means that you're gonna be able to deal with the excess hydrogen ions or that acidic feeling that you get when you're working out real hard. You're gonna get that with the high intensity interval training. So in a way, you're making your body be better able to work for you. That's kind of how I like to look at workouts. I like to think, how can I work out in order to make my body work better for me when I'm not working out, as opposed to trying to work out in order to burn calories, in order to, get something in the workout. Your workout is a tool to help you function better as a human being machine when you're not working out. Even when caloric expenditure of the workout was equated for, aka the participants in the moderate intensity group and the high intensity group were burning the same amount of calories during their workout, the high intensity interval training group significantly induced a greater reduction in subcutaneous adiposity, the fat underneath your skin, and let's face it, who doesn't want that? So getting back to bodybuilding, I'm kind of thinking that high-intensity interval training might work in favor of fat loss and muscle retention efforts. Typically, if you're doing high-intensity interval training, then you can cut your workout time to about half if you're pushing it, and obtain the same results and potentially these other metabolic results as moderate intensity training. So if you would normally do 30 minutes following your lifting session of moderate intensity or low intensity, you can cut that down to like 15 of like high intensity interval stuff. Do you think that 15 minutes of high intensity interval training is going to make you lose your gains? 1, you're going to save yourself some time. 2, you're going to rev up that metabolism, increasing your EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which is the amount of calories basically that you're going to burn after your workout. There's a more complicated explanation to that, but you can look that up on your own. That said, for me, lately I've been pretty pooped, haven't been sleeping as much as I should, especially for the amount of training that I'm doing. So for cardio, I either count like a class I teach. If I lift and I teach a class later in that day, I won't do extra cardio. I'll just count the class that I taught. I do incorporate a HIIT circuit on a day that I'm not lifting. That HIIT circuit is usually 45-ish minutes long, including warm-up and cool-down. And I've never had a problem with losing my gains on this type of schedule. And sometimes I'll throw in some just like straight cardio, like bike or stairs or something on like an arm day. Something that's not quite as lengthy, or something, for example, leg day, I might not be as inclined to do cardio on. One downside is that you can't really just, plop on your cardio machine, your bike, whatever it may be, and zone out and watch SportsCenter. You actually kind of have to like be in the moment so that you can push it. Let me know what you think about what I've said. Know what you do for cardio to supplement your resistance training to get shredded. Here are my progress pics, and I appreciate any advice that you might have for me. Thanks for watching this episode of SJ's Body Blog. Bye!